importance of the purposeful listenings, as Vanessa already mentioned. We have a special guest today. Her name is Maria Dockham, a native of Colombia, wife and mother of two. She moved to Miami in 2007 to continue her career with a degree in economics with a concentration in international business. She has been at Siemens for 4.5 years and almost 3 years being part of the Diversity and Inclusion Council as the Working Parents Group ERG's co-chair. Maria is a former member of the ECC team as well as the Order Management team, where she supports the Middle East and Europe region. Currently, she is part of the RLA Joint Function and Digital Sales team, leading the cost out projects, QEHS audits, and providing strategic support for the region of the BUs. One of her biggest passions is to help others and focus her effort in turning that into exciting opportunities for those who she helps. While seeing the need for centralized effort, she founded the Women Support Group here in Central Florida, where she continues to share her passion and to leave a legacy and positive impact for those women of the community. It is very important for her to always maintain core values such as respect and equity, as well as a culture of inclusion where everybody feels respect and value, feeling that they can contribute their best to the largest success. So, welcome Maria and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ana Maria. I really appreciate, honored to be here, and also thank you everyone for joining this important topic today.
Absolutely. So, purposeful listening seems to be a great first step to be a better ally. What is being purposeful listener and ally for you?
Well, thank you, first of all, again, for having me here. Let's just start by saying that I don't think you can be an ally without being a purposeful listener. Being a purposeful listener to me is actually to be there for someone, to really listen, to pay attention, to connect with the needs of that person that's coming to you, whether it is for advice or just to chat about anything. You have to be present. Most importantly, I think that to be a purposeful listener, you have to be empathetic. You cannot be judgmental. And remember, you're there to listen. I think that only then, once you have paid all the attention in the world to the person that's there, and that's when you see if there is an opportunity to become an ally for that person. Because I feel that when you're having those discussions, you have a few scenarios, right? You have the venting partners, which is okay. You're there to listen. You have the ones that actually come for advice, and then the opportunity of being an ally, it's much more obvious at that point. But I think the ones that to me, from personal experience have been important are those that come to talk to you and they don't know that they need that help. So you really, like I said, you really have to be paying attention, because that's when you offer that help in a way. So I feel like, let's just start by saying also that you have to understand that you're in that personal space of that person. So you need to ask for permission in a way. So you can say things like, I would love to help if you need me to. Can I be of any help? Right? Like, we don't know until we don't know. So maybe you think the person is just venting, like I said, but maybe that person is not just venting. So it's always good to ask. And I think it's always to make sure that it's okay that you're getting your opinion across. And I want to also share that it's important to be mindful that if you see that person, one of those that don't know that need help, that person is in danger, and that someone is maybe breaking some type of rules with that person, you should definitely make that person that comes to you aware that you can help, or that you can seek or help her with someone around them. So, I think that because of all these reasons, allyship is so important. I mean, if you all saw the video before this meeting, we don't all get to progress at the same pace for many reasons, right? We have some of us, or some have to work harder due to race, due to age, personalities, you name it. And that's when an ally becomes important. So I was reading an article the other day, and I read something that really struck me, and it's so important, is that allyship is the key to unlocking the power of diversity. I mean, that's so powerful because you're advocating for someone that doesn't have the same opportunities than others. You're being the voice for someone else. So let's not forget that that's why allyship is so important. That's really what we're talking about that today, because it affects positively diversity. Also, allyship is a lifelong process of building relationships based on trust. You have to be consistent. And most importantly, there has to be accountability, not just for them, right? Because there are some actions to be taken, but for yourself. Because it's an opportunity to grow, it's an opportunity to learn about yourself, but you're also building confidence in others. So that's the beauty of the whole process. And the reason why I say this is because I think that to be allies, the words and the actions must be in sync. I don't think that words without actions are detrimental, and it really works against changing the culture. You have to take action, right, in order to make it effective. So we have to become actionable allies. That means that to be an ally, you have to take that action to change others or to change the process. To be a true ally, you should lift others up by advocating. So how do you advocate, right? It's when you talk to others about specific person that came to you positively and lifting them up. You should share your growth opportunities with others. I don't think we should keep those to ourselves. We shouldn't see venting. We talked about the venting partners before. We shouldn't see venting as a personal attack, right? And there is something really important that we need to learn how to recognize, and is the systematic inequalities, and to realize the impact of the microaggressions. And what are those? I'll give you a perfect example. If we talk about maybe racial, when somebody says, wow, you speak great English for being Hispanic. I mean, that's happened to me. And that's a microaggression. Like, what does that matter, right? Like, we're communicating. There's no need to say that. Wow, you have a huge title for being a female. That's a microaggression. So we need to recognize that.
Good.
Yeah. So we need to believe in underrepresented people's experiences.
Yeah. I want to keep it small because, like I said, she would probably
somebody needs to put themselves in
freely
silence
to speak with just you and I on it. A lot of times when I do,
muted. Could you please mute who is not speaking in the call? Okay, I think
I muted him.
Oh, good. Thank you. I was like, I thought they were asking me a question. But anyway, so to close that comment, I just wanted to reiterate that the most important thing is to listen, to support, to self-reflect, and to be able to change based on that. And one of the things that I think, like I talk to people always, is we see allyship like this big word, right? Like this huge experience, and it is. But we can't forget that small actions also have a big impact, right? So allyship is a continual investment of time on supporting others, on holding ourselves accountable when mistakes are made, right? In either side, apologizing and being prepared to rework the approach towards the allyship that needs to change. So all these little things. So it doesn't have, we don't, so people sometimes tells me, oh, we're not trying to, I don't know, fight world hunger. Well, maybe we are, right? Like maybe we are one person at a time. And that's when small actions become big impact. We have to start somewhere.
Oh. That is great, Maria. Does purposeful listening help you on your responsibilities as a leader? If so, how?
Absolutely. I don't believe you can be a leader without really listening to what the people around you have to say and what they need. Otherwise, we can't take action. And we talked about that earlier, right? Like words and actions. And in our world here at Siemens, for example, within our diversity council, we're being other people's voices. So we must pay attention so we can better represent those who we are leading. Same with, any, I don't want to call it a job. I think that you can be a leader in any setting. So you have to be mindful, you have to be intentional, and it's a huge responsibility also to be a leader. So if you're not listening and paying attention to those around you, that means you're not being a leader. So it's definitely helpful when you're purposely listening to people.
Wonderful. So according to what you are saying, can you share the main technique that has helped you to be a purposeful listener?
I think, so we already talked about the being intentional and everything, but so there are two things, right? So to be present and intentional, but I feel almost that you also have to be mindful that you have to create that special space so you can be there for others and for yourself. So that to me has been the best technique, and I'll tell you why. So some of you know, some of maybe you don't. So you were mentioning how I founded the group of women, right? So there is more than 200 women in there, and there is obviously no way I can pay attention to all 200 people at the same time. So I have to create that space and recognize urgency, right? And importance, because everything is important, just like we do at work. So if there is something urgent, I have to, be mindful of that and create that space. But if I don't have that space, I can be there, right? It's almost like I'm there, but I'm not really there. So I can't really help that person. So being present and intentional goes along with creating that special and, I guess, adequate space so you can be there for others.
Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing all those insights. Lastly, what would you like people to take away today?
I want people to know that we can all be allies. We just have to pay attention around us so we can make sure that we're creating a positive impact around us. I want people to remember that we are one, that we do better when we work together, right? I know yesterday we had another conference about transformation and how, when we go alone, we go faster, but when we work together, we go farther. Same as, an individual alone has power, but collectively, we have an impact. So when we help each other, that's exactly what we're creating. And I think that at times we tend to believe that we pursue different causes, but if we really think about it, the reality is that there is a commonality among all of us. We're very passionate about pursuing fairness. You think about it, we want people to be fair. We want to be fair. So we always have to be mindful that when we're trying to be an ally throughout all this process, it's never about ourselves. It's all about being a voice for the voiceless, or those who can speak for themselves, who don't have a platform and don't have a say. We have to be mindful of that. But mostly for me, I have learned that, if we use love, if we use compassion, if we use empathy as our guiding principle, we can develop and implement systems of change so we can benefit those around us. But most importantly, I like people to remember and to know that we should give second chances to others, right? We're not perfect. We give second chances because then is when we are at our best, when we support each other, not when we judge each other or current or past mistakes, right? Instead, let's help each other grow and learn from each other and guide each other towards recovery and success. So that's really one I want to transmit today. That's my main message today.
Oh, thank you so much, Maria.
No, thank you. Thank you, Ana Maria. And if anybody has any other questions, let me know. It has been a pleasure to talk about this topic. I'm really passionate about it, as you all know. Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Maria. You are really an inspiration and an example to be followed. So,
Oh, gosh, thank you so much.